Behind those majestic castles and towering statues lies a dark world that's never been revealed. Millions of tourists visit, thinking they're admiring glorious history, but few know the chilling secrets hidden within. Today, we're uncovering 15 secrets buried deep inside the public monuments the world reveres. First, at number 15 is the Monument of Rome. In the heart of glamorous Rome, where thousands of tourists stroll carefree each day, laughing and snapping photos in front of the dazzling white marble Vittoriano. Few realize that right beneath their feet lies a different world, dark, cold, and filled with resentment. Hidden deep under that sun-glistening stone are undisclosed corpses, silent underground corridors like they're holding their breath, and lost souls whispering complaints through every crack. The Vittoriano isn't just a symbol of unity, it's a gigantic tomb, swallowing daylight and concealing secrets that would make anyone shudder. Right next to the ancient Roman Forum, the Vittoriano altar of the fatherland was built starting in 1885 and completed in 1935 to honor King Victor Emmanuel II. Locals gave it funny nicknames like the typewriter or the giant wedding cake, but its history is stained with blood and tears. During construction, countless workers fell from heights, were crushed by stones, or vanished without a trace in the deep tunnels. There's no official count, no records, just rumors of laborers' shadows lurking in the dark hallways. Inside the structure is the tomb of the unknown soldier. Selected in 1921 after war widow Maria Bergamas chose one of 11 remains from various battlefields. Years later, rumors emerged that some remains weren't Italian soldiers, maybe even former enemies, causing foreign souls to mingle and whisper in alien tongues. At night, guards say they hear moans, the smell of damp earth, and heavy footsteps echoing from the shadows. Under Mussolini, the Vittoriano became a stage for fascist rallies. The Via dei Fori Imperiali Avenue leading straight to it was built by demolishing ancient Roman ruins. Burying thousands of bones under concrete, people believe ancient ghosts have returned, furious and drifting through the corridors, while Mussolini's shadowy figure sometimes appears, repeating his mad chants from the past. The underground system includes sealed vaults, ceremonial rooms, and archives mostly locked since the 1930s. Some areas are called whisper rooms, where sounds creep through the stone arches, echoing eerily. Maintenance staff say they sometimes feel icy breath on the back of their necks, even when no one's there. Today, though open to the public, only a small part of the monument is accessible. Many doors are locked, corridors barred with iron gates, supposedly to protect the structure, preserve artifacts, fix old wiring, and prevent vandalism. The Vittoriano, both a symbol of national unity and a testament to a controversial era, still stands tall on the ruins of the ancient Roman Empire. At number 14, we have the Paris Catacombs. Right beneath the romantic streets of Paris, filled with lights and music, exists a completely different world, dark, cold, and reeking of death. Tourists stroll carefree above, unaware that under their feet is the Empire of the Dead, where over 6 million skeletons are stacked into gruesome bone walls and arches. And in the pitch-black depths, unrested souls still murmur complaints, guiding anyone who dares venture too deep into their domain. Tourists flock here yearly. 550,000 tourists, thinking it's just a historical site, unaware that behind the cold stone is a shadowy labyrinth over 300 kilometers long with more than 6 million souls watching them. The Paris Catacombs originated in the late 18th century when Paris cemeteries overflowed, decomposing bodies causing epidemics, forcing authorities to move remains into abandoned limestone quarries. In flickering torchlight, workers silently carried bones underground, creating a gloomy kingdom just meters below the streets. Today, only 5 kilometers of the catacombs are open to tourists. The rest sinks into darkness as the mysterious territory of daring cataphiles who sneak in illegally. Tourists often snap photos and laugh in front of neatly arranged bone walls, thinking it's just a historical exhibit. They believe the appeal comes from the eerie atmosphere. No cell signal, dim lighting, and heavy silence. But when the horrifying truth emerges, it terrifies many tourists who swear never to return. There are plenty of creepy legends here. One story involves a camera left behind that recorded a man getting lost and panicking until the footage abruptly stops, and he was never found. Or the tale of Philibert Aspert, a hospital doorkeeper who wandered in during 1793, His body discovered only 11 years later. Many believe his spirit still roams, guiding or warning adventurers. The Paris Catacombs aren't just a spooky attraction, but a slice of history where absolute equality appears in death nobles or commoners. Rich or poor, all lie side by side, silent under the city of light. Next, at number 13, we can't forget Christ the Redeemer. You know Christ the Redeemer as a symbol of faith, a figure spreading arms wide to save humanity from suffering. But did you know that beneath the bright white concrete are hidden stories? Unnamed corpses mixed into the foundations, and mysterious disappearances never revealed. Deep inside the statue is a dark world where wind howls like trapped grievances. And perhaps those souls have never left. On top of Corcovado Mountain, standing 98 feet tall, Christ the Redeemer spreads arms wide, enveloping Rio de Janeiro in what seems like a loving embrace. Tourists see grandeur and holiness, but they don't know that under the white stone is a chilly void. With a spiral staircase over 12 stories and 300 steps leading into utter darkness. Narrow tunnels piercing through the chest, shoulders, and head. Light only filters in as faint streaks, while howling wind echoes like imprisoned cries from centuries ago. During construction, despite precarious scaffolding, fierce storms, and constant lightning strikes, records claim 0 deaths, a miracle that's hard to believe. Locals whisper about workers slipping and falling, or vanishing in rainy nights, their bones and flesh mixed into the concrete, becoming part of the statue itself. Since then, dark shadows linger inside, leaving heavy footsteps, objects falling from nowhere, and lights flickering without cause. Secret hatches, always locked observation ports, and a steel ladder leading to the pitch-black summit swallow all light. Original records from the 1920s, 1930s vanished without a trace, leaving a suspicious historical gap. They say if you stand alone at the statue's base on a quiet night, you'll hear faint calls drifting down from above, as if someone is still trapped in the darkness, waiting to be freed. At number 12, the Tower of London. You know the Tower of London as a symbol of British royal power, standing proudly on the Thames banks, holding treasures and 1,000 years of history. But did you know that hidden under those ancient stone walls are countless blood-soaked stories? How many traitors passed through the Traitor's Gate and never returned? How many screams? How many imprisoned souls still whisper in the night? Every stone, every chilly corridor here holds unresolved grievances. Starting in 1066 under William the Conqueror, the Tower of London began as a wooden fortress, evolving into the massive White Tower of limestone with 4-meter thick walls over 27 meters high, a royal residence and impregnable stronghold. Over centuries, it expanded into a complex of battlements, towers, moats, and fortified gates. It served as the national treasury, armory, royal zoo, but it's most infamous as a prison for powerful inmates who fell from grace, those who once held the nation's fate, only to die silently under the blade. At Tower Green and Tower Hill, the blood of nobles and royals once stained the ground red. The most chilling tales involve the mysterious disappearance of 2 princes in the Bloody Tower, or the headless ghost of Queen Anne Boleyn, silently gliding through corridors with empty eyes. Guards have reported invisible footsteps following them, moans echoing from dark places, and white apparitions lurking near Traitor's Gate, where wind carries an icy chill that raises goosebumps. Today, the Tower of London is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a top tourist spot welcoming thousands yearly. But at night, its ancient beauty turns into a haunting fortress. Silent hallways, cold stone rooms, and wind whistling through wall cracks blur the line between past and present. Stepping through the ancient stone gates, you might feel invisible eyes watching, as if the tower is still guarding secrets no one is allowed to know. At number 11 on the list, we can't miss the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. You know the Gateway Arch is a gleaming modern symbol of St. Louis, proudly arching over the Mississippi River. But did you know that beneath its shiny stainless steel skin is a cramped, shaking world full of hidden dangers, where metal groans mix with the wind, where endless voids wait just after one slip? Tourists happily pose for photos at its base, unaware that inside is a mechanical maze where any small mistake could turn into disaster. Completed in 1965, the 630-foot Gateway Arch is a perfect parabolic curve looking graceful but hiding a complex curved structure that couldn't fit traditional elevators. Instead, engineers created a bizarre capsule system, part elevator, part Ferris wheel. Each round pod, narrow like a washing machine, fits 5 people, sliding along the curve while gently rotating for balance. No windows, no emergency exits, just cold metal walls, vibrating slightly with every gust. At the top, visitors enter a curved observation deck so cramped the ceiling presses down. The floor tilts, and only 16 narrow windows slant toward the river or city. In strong winds, the summit can sway up to 18 inches. Engineers say it's safe, but the whole thing sways. The air stuffy, hundreds crammed in, and subtle shakes make the faint-hearted or height-fearful clutch rails, eyes wide with dizziness. Some tourists have needed medical help to descend. Today, the gateway arch remains St. Louis's pride, a perfect curve splitting the sky. But inside, it's a giant machine suspended between earth and heaven, where only the brave dare enter. There, awe and fear blend, and wind whistling through steel reminds you you're on the fragile edge between safety and the abyss. At number 10, Leap Castle. You know Leap Castle as an ancient fortress standing tall in the heart of Ireland. But few realize that under its mossy stones is a darkness that never settles. Here, every slab is soaked in blood. Every hallway echoes with moans and invisible footsteps. Locals say on windy nights when gusts howl through wall cracks, you'll hear whispers calling your name or the harsh laughter of those who died but never let go of their hatred. Perched precariously at the foot of the Slieve Bloom Mountains, Leap has swallowed over 500 years of betrayal and slaughter. From the deadly duel between O'Bannon brothers, where the survivor claimed rule, to the bloody reign of the O'Carroll clan, with the bloody chapel where a murder mid-ceremony stained the floor red. Some swear that entering there brings a bone-deep chill, as if someone's right behind you. When the Darby family took over in the 17th century, the castle piled on more deadly secrets, then was mostly burned in the 1922 Irish Civil War, leaving it abandoned like a scar on the land. In decades swallowed by darkness, white apparitions drifted through hallways, cold laughter like knife cuts. And finally, a secret dungeon was discovered holding hundreds of human skeletons, victims of hidden murders forgotten for centuries, nameless people erased. Today, though restored by the Rhine family, Leap still carries a thick atmosphere of death and curses. Tourists enter not just seeing ancient architecture, but feeling invisible eyes tracking every move. Perhaps in the deepest shadows of this castle, the past waits, and you just need one more step to hear it whisper. Next, at number 9, the Monument to the Battle of the Nations. Did you know that when you step onto the Monument to the Battle of the Nations in Leipzig, beneath your feet lies the resting place of hundreds of thousands of soldiers who fell? This isn't speculation from books, but actual remains, sword fragments, bullets, and mass graves still under the foundations, reburied instead of relocated. Every step on the stone stairs, every creak of the wooden floors echoes through souls who never left. Many tourists visit yearly unaware they're walking on a gigantic cemetery, where 90,000 people fought, suffered, and stayed forever. Standing nearly 300 feet on a hill, this structure commemorates the 1813 Battle of Leipzig, one of Europe's bloodiest before the 20th century, with over 600,000 troops and about 90,000 dead or wounded. When construction began in 1898, workers unearthed countless bones, sword pieces, cannonballs, and mass graves. Most remains weren't moved but reburied under foundations or placed in the monument's secret crypt. In other words, it's a colossal tomb. Above the crypt is a domed hall surrounded by 16 giant stone warrior statues, motionless guards with soulless stares. From there, a narrow 364-step spiral staircase leads to the observation deck, where creepy stories begin. Many tourists report hearing footsteps when no one's around or seeing misty figures vanish before their eyes. Hidden in the foundations is a locked room. No signs, not open to visitors. Strangest of all is the constant damp cold inside. Even in summer, stone walls sweat and mold clings to cracks. Science blames poor ventilation for high humidity, but rumors say otherwise, that it's a sign of invisible presences echoing from 90,000 forgotten souls. Whether for its massive architecture or supernatural allure, The monument to the Battle of the Nations remains one of Europe's most visited war memorials. Tourists come for the grandeur or curiosity, never truly knowing they're stepping on Europe's giant graveyard, where 90,000 souls never really left and might be watching your every step. At number 8, an image with millions of tourists visiting the Forbidden City. Few know that beneath the glittering golden roofs and deep red walls of the Forbidden City lies not just imperial glory, but the blood and bodies of over 10,000 people who died building this absolute center of power. Over 14 years, starting in 1406 under Ming Emperor Yongle, hundreds of thousands of artisans exhausted themselves, many forever buried under the stone floors, blending into every brick, antique pillar, amid over 9,000 rooms, endless hallways, and locked doors. Whispers persist of shadows passing in the night, cries from dry wells, and stories of souls who never left this sealed palace. Standing in Beijing's heart, the Forbidden City isn't just a lavish palace complex, but a witness to over 600 years of Chinese history. Its architecture follows strict feng shui principles, every decorative detail symbolizing prosperity, eternity, and the emperor's heavenly mandate. Yet behind the splendor is a layer of history full of blood and tears, giving the Forbidden City a mystical hue. Legend says in the late Qing dynasty, concubine Zhen was drowned in a cold well in the western wall corner, and on quiet nights, many claim to hear her sobbing grievances. Or the narrow Yin-Yang Alley, a secret path for removing bodies, now chills tourists when ancient robes flash by without footprints. Even guards have reported flute music echoing in the Hall of Supreme Harmony at night. But searching reveals empty hallways and skin-cutting cold wind. Today, the Forbidden City stands as a living museum of history with over 1.8 million artifacts, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting millions yearly. But if you linger long enough, letting night wind through red hallways as shadows rise from corners, you might sense an echo from the past, telling secrets time can't erase. At number 7, an ancient castle, Edinburgh Castle. Everyone knows Edinburgh Castle as a sturdy icon on Castle Rock, proud, majestic, and brimming with historical glory. But few realize that under its cold stones is the blood of thousands, the cries of trapped souls. Amid ancient walls, invisible footsteps still echo. The drum of a headless man signals doom, and misty figures wander as if seeking a forgotten escape for centuries. Over 1,000 years, Edinburgh Castle has been an impregnable fortress, lavish palace, and harsh prison. But behind fortified gates and grand halls is a maze of dark corridors, damp dungeons where prisoners wasted away, bodies hastily buried in shadows, secret tunnels once swallowed a piper boy leading the way, his sad tune still echoing at night like a curse. Yet that majestic beauty is veiled in mystery, making the castle one of Europe's most haunted spots. Tourists report meeting the Grey Lady gliding across stone yards, or French Napoleonic prisoners lurking behind mossy walls. Some hear mysterious drums from nowhere, icy grips clutching them, as if invisible eyes track every step. These unverified stories make the castle a strange blend of heroic history and the supernatural. For many, visiting Edinburgh Castle isn't just exploring architectural mastery, but stepping into deep memories, where secrets, curses, and ghosts of the past quietly persist. This fusion of beauty, power, and fear makes it a top public monument, a symbol not just of Scotland but of immortal legends. Number 6 is a heroic symbol of Russia's tall female warrior, towering against Volgograd's sky. The Motherland Calls, the Motherland warrior summoning, is known as a grand symbol of victory, a giant Russian woman raising her sword high, hair flowing, as if calling a nation to rise. But did you know that under the statue, deep in Mamayev Kurgan, lie tens of thousands of nameless corpses, soil soaked in the blood of over 2 million souls from the Battle of Stalingrad? Every blade of grass, every stone whispers grievances, and the statue is like a sentinel guarding a vast, unrested graveyard. Inside the statue isn't harmless emptiness, but a maze of narrow stairs and hundreds of steel cables, stretched like veins holding the massive form from collapse. But cables age, concrete expands and contracts with seasons, and in 2009, Russia's Ministry of Culture admitted the statue is starting to lean, The sword, once hollow and humming eerily at night, was replaced with solid steel, heavier, adding burden to the giant arm already trembling under its weight. Workers have revealed the inner frame uses recycled warship and tank wreckage, some exposed to low-level radiation. In Soviet times, data was secret, and even now, no one dares publicly measure safety. They say if you listen closely at the statue's base at night, you'll hear a metal groaning, wind howling through the blade, blending with faint sounds like calls from underground. Despite hidden risks, the Motherland Calls remains national pride, a symbol of sacrifice and triumph. Engineers warn without reinforcement. In a century, it could tilt, crack, and fall, burying history and unrested souls. And perhaps then, the Motherland's call will echo one last time, before eternal silence. The eternal love symbol at number 5, Taj Mahal. Did you know that under the pristine white marble of the eternal love icon, Taj Mahal is the sweat, blood, and bodies of thousands who died during 22 years of construction? On the Yamuna River's banks, this mausoleum is a mysterious graveyard where labor souls silently dwell amid glittering walls. Every slab, every gem carries sweat, blood, and sacrifice, making the Taj Mahal both radiant and terrifying, quietly reminding of beauty's tragic cost. The Taj Mahal, India's shining jewel in Agra, is one of humanity's greatest architectural feats. Built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in 1632 to remember his late wife, Mumtaz Mahal, this tomb crystallizes love, art, and power. Records say Mumtaz died birthing their 14th child, and before passing, she made Shah Jahan promise an eternal home. That vow took 22 years, involving over 20,000 artisans and treasures from worldwide. Today, the Taj Mahal is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders, symbolizing undying love. But stories linger of hands that touched this masterpiece being chopped off, eyes that saw it blinded, to bury perfection's secrets forever. Some say underground is an unexplored dark tunnel network, perhaps sealing treasures. On moonlit nights, when marble reflects silvery glow, tourists swear they hear whispers in the wind, footsteps from empty hallways. Then, the Taj Mahal isn't just a wonder, but a chilling reminder that absolute beauty is sometimes traded for secrets never to be unearthed. We have the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus at number 4. People praise the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus as an eternal wonder, proof of love and power, but few know that beneath the time-weathered marble, unopened dark rooms still hold deadly secrets. Bones of nameless laborers mix in the damp cold shadows, and on windy nights through ruins, some swear they hear dragging footsteps and whispers in ancient tongues. Built around 350 BCE in modern Bodrum, Turkey, this towering tomb embodies power and luxury, but at the cost of blood and lives from hundreds of artisans. Giant stone columns, reliefs depicting wars, sacrifices, and supreme power make it grand yet haunting, reminding that beauty sometimes arises from tragedy. Over time, earthquakes and disasters destroyed most of the structure. Crusader knights reused stones and statues for castles. But under the rubble hides an unopened, mysterious Room X, where Mausoleum's secrets and laborer souls remain locked in darkness. Who knows what awaits if the door opens? Today, the ruins stand majestic and fearsome, broken columns upright carefully, silently telling of thousands who died building this masterpiece. Tourists walk the shaded space, thinking they're amid history, but they're on haunted ground where death, power, and curses blend in every stone. Number 3 is the Great Wall of China. You know the Great Wall as China's majestic icon, a stunning structure stretching thousands of kilometers, astonishing the world. But did you know that right under those massive walls are the bodies of millions? Slaves, prisoners, soldiers. They perished during construction, buried directly beneath the foundations. And on some nights, people still hear moans and cries from empty wall sections, as if aggrieved souls never left. The Great Wall is a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site, attracting millions yearly. Its formation ties to million sacrifices, starting with Emperor Qin Shi Huang. So it's called the world's longest cemetery. Haunting stories around the Great Wall obsess many. One famous legend is Meng Jiangnu, whose husband was forced to build the wall and died there. She wept until a section collapsed, revealing his body. The Great Wall isn't just architectural grandeur, but a living chronicle, recording rises, falls, sorrows, and heroism of an ancient civilization. Every brick, every segment hides stories of creativity, unyielding will, and unsolved mysteries. Behind its mighty beauty are tales of ultimate sacrifice, eerie legends, and little-known historical truths. This turns the Great Wall from a mere wonder into an enduring symbol, forever inspiring those exploring history and Chinese culture's depths. Number 2, the Valley of the Fallen. You've gazed at the Valley of the Fallen with awe at the giant cross and grand mausoleum, thinking it's a place honoring heroes and noble sacrifice. But did you know that right under your feet, beneath cold stone slabs, tens of thousands of nameless corpses lie still, many skeletons piled in shadows, eroded by time and mold. Those aggrieved souls never rested, and rumor says when wind howls through the valley, you can hear faint moans like thousands of wordless pleas echoing from granite. This massive structure, with a church entrance over 240 meters long and giant angel statues, was built by tens of thousands of political prisoners over nearly 20 years. Many died on sight, their pain and sweat soaked into every stone. Originally erected to remember Spanish Civil War sacrifices, it's also the resting place of dictator General Francisco Franco, who used forced labor to complete this power symbol. Stories of jumbled corpses in crypts, lurking souls, make it both grand and terrifying. Even after Franco's body was removed in 2019, the valley retains its haunting vibe. Over 33,000 bodies remain in crypts, many skeletons stacked, remnants of violence and despair. Anyone entering feels the silent presence of the fallen, as if history lives and stares at every tourist, reminding that majestic exteriors can't hide buried pain and death. Today, the Valley of the Fallen endures as a stone monster, where victory's glory and suffering blend. Tours are strictly monitored, political acts restricted, but ghosts, nameless corpses, and buried stories persist quietly, reminding that under historical shine, blood and fear remain. The valley is a painful scar in Spanish history. And finally, we have the Roman Colosseum. Everyone knows the Roman Colosseum as Rome's grand icon and architectural wonder, but few remember it's a vivid graveyard of unrested souls, under pale moonlight, in the arena and deep underground tunnels. Blood and screams of millions of people and animals still simmer and echo. Shadows of headless gladiators, wronged beasts, and even Emperor Titus wandering like cursed, lurk in ruined arches, reminding that the Colosseum isn't just history, but a gate to unending nightmares. In Rome's heart, the Colosseum rises from a bloody past, where over 500,000 human lives and 1 million animals breathe their last. Under golden sand, blood soaked deep into stone, while the complex underground system still echoes roars, clashes like immortal battles. At nightfall, many swear they've seen gladiator shadows trudging for unfinished fights. Completed in 80 CE, the Colosseum was Rome's largest amphitheater, hosting thousands of brutal entertainments over 450 years. The intricate basement with tunnels, animal cages, elevators, and pulleys sprung beasts unexpectedly like a perfect death machine.